Shalom, shalom, shalom. This is the brothers of Bach coming through with another lesson. And this lesson is pertaining to reincarnation. Alright? Because without the reincarnation, you can't tie up judgment. Okay? Because people are getting judged for the sins that they committed in their past lives. Alright? As it says, the sins of even Esau Edom, pertaining to Esau Edom, it says he's full of his sins of his youth. And what are those sins? His sins that he committed as Abel, as Cain, the sins that he committed as Esau, the sins that he's committing now, right? Even the sins of the serpent that deceived Eve. Okay, that's the same spirit coming back. So he has to be judged for all the wickedness that he's done throughout his reincarnations, meaning back in the flesh. Okay. So that being said, I'd like to give all honor, praises, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahawashi, Bahashem, Racha Kodash. Double honors to my teachers, the elders, apostles, and elder bishops of Great Millstone, teaching and ruling well. Salutation to the hopeful elect of the house of Israel, those who are keeping the law, statutes, and commandments until Yahushua returns. Peace and blessing. All right. So let's get into it. And this lesson is basically to further prove through the Spirit. Okay, for those that have the Spirit, because this is a spiritual thing. So through the Spirit, I will through the Spirit of Yahweh Shai, explain how Abel, Jacob, Moses, David, and Peter are all the same spirit in different bodies. Okay? So it says here in Ecclesiastes 3 and 15, that which had been is now, and that which is to be had already been, and the Most High required that which is past. Why does he require which is past? Because what you've done in your past life, you're going to atone for those sins in your next life. Right? It says what has been is now, okay? And that goes for the spirits as well. Okay, because all the people of Israel that wanted to go back in Egypt, that wanted to forsake the Lord and go back into Egypt, into captivity, they're back here today. Those are the same people that want to side with Esau Edom and will surely take the mark of the beast. Okay. Even the men that are following after Yahushua, those are his sheep that hear his voice and that follow him from the beginning of times. As it says, the spirit of the prophet is subject unto the prophet. So if you're a prophet in your past life, you're going to be a prophet in this life. You can't escape it. This is your lot. Okay, as it says in I believe in Daniel, it says in Daniel's a revelation. It tells you you stand in thy lot in the last days, roughly paraphrasing. So he was telling that prophet that he would come back and prophesy again. Okay. So that being said, it says here in Numbers 14 and 18, the Lord says here, the Lord is long suffering and great mercy, and of great mercy, Salakia, forgiving iniquity and transgression, and by no mean clearing the guilty, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children unto the third and fourth generation. And why is that? Because in the third and fourth generation, that spirit that sinned comes back. So when you say you're talking about your father in the third or fourth generation, you're coming back. Okay. And that is why it says, prepare slaughter for his children for the iniquities of his father. Okay, why is that? Because those children coming back are them. How they like to say when you bring out Revelation 13 and 10, he that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. Esau Edom likes to say that, oh no, that wasn't me, that was in the past, that was my forefathers, that I had nothing to do with this. But you're wrong. Okay, first off, you're benefiting from the wickedness that they've portrayed in the past, and you are the same people that done it in a different body. It's you. You cannot say that it wasn't, that you have nothing to do with it, because the spirit that is in you is the same spirit that put our people into captivity. All right, so you will have to be judged for those things. Okay, there is no escaping the Lord, man. As it says here again in Isaiah 14 and 21, prepare slaughter for his children, for the iniquities of their fathers, that they do not rise nor possess the land, nor fill the face of the world with cities. So again, the scriptures are not contradictory. They don't contradict each other. There's one precept that says a child will not suffer for the sins of his father, and the father will not suffer for the sins of his child. Okay, roughly paraphrasing. But in this precept, it says the children will suffer, prepare slaughter for the children for the iniquity of the father. And why is that? Because those children are the ones, are the fathers coming back in the reincarnation. Okay, I hope you guys are still with me. All right, Lord willing. So it says here in Ecclesiastes 3:16, and moreover, I saw under the sun the place of judgment, so on earth. So the place of judgment is on earth. That wickedness was there, and the place of righteousness, that iniquity was there. So when you die, it says here in Ecclesiastes 12:7, then shall the dust return to the earth. So when you die, your body goes to the earth. Usually you get buried. Okay, the flesh gets buried. Okay, but it says what? The dust shall return to the earth as it was, and the spirit shall return to the Most High who gave it. Okay, so when you die, your flesh goes in, your body, okay, goes into the earth. You get buried, but your spirit returns to the spirit realm. It goes back into the heavens. Okay, and that's another thing that breaks down the hell doctrine, because at the end of the day, everyone goes to heaven. Everyone goes to heaven, but when you get there, you have to face judgment. Okay, you face your judgment. The Lord weighs your actions, whether they were good or evil, and then afterwards, to suffer your judgment, He sends you back on earth. It says it's a fearful thing to fall into the hands of the Most High. Fear Him that can cast your body both in hell, your soul, both your body and your soul in hell, meaning in the hard times, difficult situation. You can come back as a paraplegic. You can come back as a blind man. You can come back with all sorts of deformities, man. And why is that? Because the Lord has found it fit to be a judgment unto you, man. Okay? And again, I'm speaking in a spiritual sense. Those that are carnal will not be able to understand these things, man. But if you have the eyes to see and the ears to hear, you can obviously see that what I'm saying is correct. After you die, your spirit goes to the Father to receive judgment for the action that you committed, and then after that, you come back in the third or fourth generation to suffer your judgment. Okay, whether it's good or whether it's bad. Okay, and it says here in Hebrews 9:27, and it is appointed unto men once to die, but after this the judgment. Okay, so you go back to the Father and you receive your judgment, and then you come back in the reincarnation. You come back in the flesh. You return back. Your spirit returns back into the flesh. You know, it's one question that I always like to ask. What comes? You know how they say, what comes first, the chicken or the egg? Okay, but in this sense, what comes first, the spirit or the body? You know, before you're created in the womb. Okay, before you're in the womb, the spirit is always there, man. Okay. So basically, the spirit never dies, because it's the energy. It's a spirit. The spirit never dies, man. Like I said, it just returns to the Father. Okay. So that being said, when your flesh is being formed in your mother's womb, the spirit just enters into that body. Okay. So again, the spirit is first, man. And okay. So it says here, pertaining to reincarnation, it says here in Luke 12:5, but I will forewarn you of whom ye shall fear. Fear him which after he had killed, after he killed, okay, had both power to cast into hell. And that doesn't mean a place on the ground with Satan with a pitchfork, with a red man holding a pitchfork. No, okay. That means a difficult situation. He can cast you in a terrible situation. Okay, in one lifetime you're a rich man, in another lifetime you're a bum. You see, it says here he had the power. He had Salakia. Fear him which after he had killed had power to cast into hell. Yeah, I say unto you, fear him, fear Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, because when you die and your spirit goes back to the Father to receive judgment, depending on what you've done, depending if you kept the law, statutes, and commandments, depending if you're obeying his voice, you'll be judged accordingly, because the Lord loveth righteous judgment. So if you've done wickedness all your life, you best believe that when you're coming back, your life is not going to be great, man. You see? So that being said, that was just to establish the point of reincarnation, the fact that people do come back. People, the fact that you're here right now, you've been here before, okay? You're back into the cycle of life, okay? You died and you came back. And the fact that we were born really shows that how unperfect we are, because we've sinned. The wages of sin is death. The fact that you had to be born again, you have to go through that birth cycle, means that you're wicked, man. Well, we're all sinners at the end of the day. But again, there's a difference. Not everyone is Israel. Not everyone is a son of the power, okay? Because the sons of the power are the chosen, okay? And we're going to inherit the blessings. We're going to inherit immortality. We're going to inherit rulership. Not everyone, man. The Lord will set up one people, meaning the Israelites, to be above the rest of the people, man. And to rule over them, man. Okay? So all the other nations prepare for captivity for the wickedness that you've done. Okay? So it's not for nothing that you're gonna go into captivity too, man. Because you've put the children of the Lord, his most precious things, okay, the apple of his eyes, all these other nations, you heathen, have put Israel into captivity, right? When we were supposed to rule the world, okay? You've put us in captivity, so you will have to be judged, and you will have to go into captivity as well, pertaining to Revelation 13 and 10, right? So now concerning reincarnation, let's go into Abel. It says here, pertaining to Abel, Adam knew Eve, his wife, and she conceived, and bare Cain, and said, I have gotten a man from the Lord. See, she said, she didn't say I brought him to, I gave birth to this guy. She said the Lord gave me this. If you're gonna have having children is a blessing from the Lord, man. He decides if your womb gets open and if you have children. Because even at one point, Sarah can have children, but the Lord opened her womb at the end of her life, man. You see. So it says here, and she again bare his brother Abel, and Abel was a keeper of sheep. So now look at the attributes that Abel has. Abel is a keeper of sheep, okay? But Cain was a tiller of the ground, okay? So he was like a farmer of some sort, And in the process of time, it came to pass that Cain brought the fruit of the ground and offering unto the Lord. Abel, he also brought of the firstling of his flock and the fat thereof. And the Lord had respect unto Abel and unto his offering. Why is that? Because Abel was, in a sense, studious man. He knew exactly what he had to offer unto the Lord, man. He knew what was pleasant unto the Lord because he studied the ways of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. As for Cain, he put it aside, man. He thought he could just bring a salad unto the Lord, man, and the Lord would be happy with that, man. You see? And again, he didn't even bring the best of his things that he could offer unto the Lord. He just gave him whatever he had left. You see, whatever he wanted to give, man. The small portion, man. He says here, and but unto Cain, the Lord had respect unto Abel and unto his offering, but unto Cain and to his offering he had no respect. And Cain was very wroth, and his countenance fell. And Cain talked with Abel his brother, and it came to pass when they were in the field that Cain rose up against Abel his brother and slew him. Okay, so that's that murderer. Cain meaning weapon. Cain is that murderer from the beginning, man. You see, and what happened? Cain murdered Abel because Abel was accepted of the Lord. Okay, he saw that the Lord was with Abel, so that made him jealous. So at the end of the day, he offed Abel. Okay, so now let's move on in time. So Abel passed away, and then Cain passed away eventually, and now let's go back into that reincarnation. Okay, so pertaining to Jacob, it says here in Genesis 25 and 22, and the children struggled together within her. So that was already before they were even born. There was a eternal conflict within the womb. pertaining to Jacob and Esau. And why is that? Because Jacob and Esau are the reincarnation of Abel and Cain. Those are the same spirit coming back. In the same way that Abel was killed of Cain, Cain was still trying to kill Abel. Cain was still trying to. It's like Esau was still trying to kill Jacob inside the womb. He was trying to get rid of him before he even got out the womb, man. You see? And it says here, and she said, if it be so, why am I thus? And she went to inquire of the Lord. And the Lord said unto her, two nations are in thy womb, two manner of people. Okay? So again, like I said, the attributes of Cain and Abel, it says Abel was a keeper of sheep. Okay? And Cain was a tiller of the ground. Okay? So those are you see already there's a two manner of people. Okay? Two nations are in thy womb, and two manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels. Okay? And one people shall be strong, and the other stronger than the other people, and the elder shall serve the younger. Okay? And this hasn't come to pass yet. We had a little foreshadowing of that in the time of Solomon. But in the kingdom of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, they'll be in the total subjection unto the house of Israel. All right? And that goes into your other nations as well. It says here in verse 27, and the boys grew, and Esau was a cunning hunter, a murderer, a cunning hunter. Okay, like a serpent. Okay, a serpent is a cunning hunter. Okay, and Esau was a cunning hunter, a man of the field. Wasn't Cain a tiller of the ground, a man of the field? Okay, and it says here, and Jacob was a plain man, dwelling in tents. And when you take care of the tents, you also have to take care of the sheep, right? Of course. Okay. So it says here, pertaining to Moses, how Moses is the reincarnation of Jacob. Okay. It says here in Numbers 12 and 13. Now the man Moses was very meek. Okay. And like I just read, Jacob was a plain man. That goes into meekness. Okay. Being satisfied with life, man. He's just content with what he has. You see, and that's why he says Moses was very meek, above all the men which were upon the face of the earth. Okay, that's the same spirit coming back in the reincarnation. It says here in Numbers 11 and 11, and Moses said unto the Lord, wherefore hast thou afflicted thy servant? And that's another proof to further say that Moses is Jacob. Okay, because you know that Jacob is the father of the 12 tribes. Okay, it says here, and Moses said unto the Lord, wherefore hast thou afflicted thy servant, and wherefore have I not found favor in thy sight, that thou layest the burden of all this people upon me? So Moses is basically telling, why have you given me the burden of looking after all these people, man? And what did Moses say unto them? Have I conceived all these people? He's saying, the Lord, am I their father? Have I begotten them, that thou shouldest say unto me, carry them into thy bosom, as a nursing father beareth the sucking child unto the land which thou sware unto their fathers? Okay, so he's basically in the same way that John the Baptist, when we asked him if he was Elijah, he said no, because he didn't know. There is no remembrance of former things. Okay, so you're not gonna know in the spirit who you are back in the reincarnation, who you were in your past life. There is no remembrance of former things. Okay, so that's why Moses, in the spirit, he's asking the Lord, am I their father? Have I given them birth? Am I their father? Basically. But in the spirit, yes, because Moses is Jacob, and Jacob is the father of the 12 tribes. Okay, it says here, just to prove that, you don't really have to, but just to further prove that point. It says here in Acts 7 and 8, to the point, Jacob begot the 12 patriarchs. Okay, so Jacob begot the 12 patriarchs, man. You see? So it says here in 1 Samuel 16 and 10. Again, Jesse made 7 of his sons pass before Samuel. And Samuel said unto Jesse, the Lord had not chosen thee. And Samuel said unto Jesse, are here all thy children? And he said, there remaineth yet the youngest. Okay, and behold, he keepeth the sheep. Okay, he keepeth the sheep. Abel was a keeper of sheep. Okay, and Samuel said unto Jesse, send and fetch him, for we will not sit down till he come hither. And he sent and brought him in. Now he was ruddy, and withal of a beautiful countenance, a godly look to look to. And the Lord said, Arise, anoint him, for this is he. Then answered one of the servants and said, Behold, verse 18, then answered one of the servants and said, Behold, I have seen a son of Jesse, the Bethlehemite, that is cunning in playing, and a mighty valiant man, a man of war, and prudent in matters, and a comely person, and the Lord is with him. See, the Lord wasn't the Lord with Abel? Wasn't the Lord? Did not the Lord find acceptable the offering of Abel? Was not the Lord with Abel? It says here, wherefore Saul sent messengers unto Jesse and said, Send me David the son, which is with the sheep. Okay, again, Abel was a keeper of sheep. Okay, and it says here, 2 Samuel 7 and 8. Now therefore, so shalt thou say unto my servant David, Thus saith the Lord of hosts, I took thee from the sheepcote, from following the sheep, to be ruler over my people, over Israel. Was it not Moses the first so-called king of Israel? The first king after Adam? Wasn't Moses the second king of Israel, if you don't count the first king, if you don't count Adam? Okay? You see, he made him ruler. He took him out of that plain life, took him out of that meek life, man, and set David over Israel. Okay? And it says here, 13 and Acts 13 and 22. And when he had removed him, he raised up unto them David to be their king, to whom also he gave testimony and said, I have found David the son of Jesse, a man after mine own heart, which shall fulfill all my will. David was a man of the Lord's heart, just as Abel was, just as Jacob was, okay? Because he was meek, just as Moses was, okay? You see? And again, we know that Peter is Moses again in the reincarnation, and David, you know, he's Abel, Jacob, Moses, and David in the reincarnation. It says here, Matthew 16 and 17, and Yahushua answered and said unto him, Blessed art thou, Simon Barjona, for flesh and blood had not revealed it unto thee, but my Father which is in heaven. I say also unto thee, that thou art Peter, upon this rock will I build my church. See, the second in command after Yahushua is Peter. Okay, it says here, and the gates of hell shall not prevail against it. I will give unto thee the keys of the kingdom of heaven, and whatsoever thou shalt bind on earth shall be bound in heaven, and whatsoever thou shalt loose on earth shall be loosed in heaven. So again, he received those keys, man, the keys of David. And why is that? Because he is David coming back in the reincarnation. Okay? And you know that David was a warrior, you know? And even if in that time Simon Peter wasn't a warrior, a fighter, in his spirit he still was David. It says here in John 18 and 10, then Simon Peter, having a sword, drew it and smote the high priest's servant and cut off his right ear. The servant's name was Malchus. Then said Yahushua unto Peter, Put up thy sword in the sheath. The cup which my Father had forgiven me, shall I not drink it? Okay, so he was ready to die. He was ready. He pulled out the sword, man. He was ready to defend Yahushua to the death at that moment. You see, like, same as David would for Solomon. Okay. And it says here in 1 Chronicles 22 and 7, and David said unto Solomon, My son, as for me, it was in my mind to build an house unto the name of the Lord my power. But the word of the Lord came to me, and saying, Thou hast shed blood abundantly, and hast made great wars. Thou shalt not build an house unto my name, because thou hast shed much blood upon the earth in my sight. Okay, same as so that was the same spirit. David was killing people, was killing heathens left to right, man. He was killing them, putting them to death, man. Okay, so when he came back as Peter, man, he was ready to die about it. He was ready to die for Yahweh Shai, man. You see. So that being said, and even then, to further prove that point, you know that Yahweh Shai was deeply involved spiritually. He was there when Moses was Salakia, when the reincarnation of Peter was on the scene as Abel, Jacob, Moses, David, and Peter. When they were on the scene, Yahweh Shai was also there. He was there as Adam. He was there as Isaac. Okay, he was there in the spirit as the angel that was in the chariot leading the children of Israel out of Egypt. Okay, he was there as Solomon in the time of David, and he was there as Yahweh Shai. Okay, he was even there as Melchizedek. I'm not too sure if Jacob had the opportunity to encounter. Well, Melchizedek was Isaac, so regardless, so Jacob saw Melchizedek because he was with his father. Okay, so again, so that's how you know, man. Coincidentally, Yahweh Shah was always present, if not the father of that reincarnation. He was the son of that reincarnation, or he was in the spirit. Like I said, Adam is the father of Abel. Okay, Isaac is the father of Jacob. Okay, in the time of Moses, he was in the spirit realm. He was the angel guiding Israel into the land of in the wilderness. Okay, in the time of David was the father of Solomon, and in the time of Yahweh Shai, they weren't related, but they were spiritually connected. You see. So that being said, I hope this lesson was edifying. I don't want to push it further longer than it has to be. I'm pretty sure I made my point through the spirit. I hope you understood and you were able to keep up with me. Lord willing, this was edifying. So I like to give all honor, praises, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Racha Kodash. Double honors to my teachers, the elders, apostles, and bishop of Great Millstone, teaching and ruling well. Salutation to the hopeful elect of the house of Israel, those who are keeping the law, statutes, and commandments until the end. Peace and blessing. DTA Ababa Kwam Yasha Allah. Shalom. Until next lesson, Shalom.